Hello friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. I am Jenny, and yes, we are in a slightly different location today. We are here with the one, the only, the beloved Laura of Garden Answer.
Hey guys.
Yes. So Laura and Aaron were just so gracious and invited us to come out here to Oregon to work on
to work.
That's right. And it's been so funny because as the social media comments are coming through, people are like, that is so nice of you to go out and help Laura. And I was like, yes.
It is nice.
Well, we were honored to be here. And so thank you, first of all, so much for having us.
Well, thank you for coming all the way across the country to make our greenhouse awesome. I'm so excited about it.
And we brought the rain with us.
Yes, you did. It rained for 5 minutes maybe.
It's okay.
We'll take it.
Yeah, it was enough to wet the streets.
Yes.
And we had some puddles, but it was all good. And we were enjoying this weather. I mean, it's no humidity.
Mm-hmm.
So my southern people who are like, how does Laura wear her hair down all the time?
Dry.
This is how.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my hair is loving this climate. It really is, because otherwise it'd be poof.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so we are here and we've got the cold frame converted to a greenhouse almost.
Almost. Getting close.
Yes, and so Laura's going to do the whole video on that side. So obviously,
You've already seen when they did theirs, and so it's pretty much the same process.
It is.
But you guys know what you're doing, and you've done so many now.
Right.
It's just
Yes, we were able to get it done, and so we said that, yes, our frustrations are paying off to get yours done a lot smoother. So you think that we know what we're doing.
But you do. Can you imagine? I mean, I can't imagine just flying into that project, Aaron and I. Aaron's behind the camera right now looking like...
Yes, so both of the boys are behind the camera, and we tried to get them mic'd up, and they're like, no, we're good. But I did, when we originally knew that we were coming out here, that was my ultimate project that I thought the four of us could be mic'd up together.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
It would be fun. And there's still time, but I don't know that we can convince them to do that. I think we may just be lucky to get a picture of the four of us.
We'll do it.
We'll do it. Absolutely. So, obviously, we're here, and the Hartley is just right beside of us. So give us some update. Like,
it's amazing. I love it. I mean, the view.
It is absolutely gorgeous.
It's so pretty.
It is. And just to give a little perspective, I didn't realize that it was going to be like kind of really outside of your kitchen.
Yes.
So it's in a really high visibility area. So when you're at the sink or the kitchen table, you get to enjoy it.
Yeah, that was something that we had considered several different locations to put it, because, you know, there's a lot of different, you know, out on the new property, different opportunities out there, but they're not central. And you want something that's kind of in the hub of your activity, your daily life, and we see it all the time right there. Plus, it's between our kitchen and our barn, where we have both, you know, food that we're going to be putting in there, because hopefully we're going to be dining in there, and then also supplies to do gardening projects and things very close by. So,
and the scale is perfect. Like,
I think
between
it really
the two larger buildings, and then of course the white. I mean, it's just
classic.
It is.
It's classic. It is. You know, the black ones. I really like the black top ones.
They are really pretty. Yeah.
I see so many people's Hartleys in their pictures on their Instagram page, and I get a lot of inspiration from them. But we had to go white because it's like the most classic looking to me. I don't know. It's just what I think of. And then it also matches all of our buildings.
It does.
So.
And Benjamin was very sweet and took me on a tour.
Oh, he did?
He did yesterday. So he took me in and showed me how the doors open and close and how they latch on the side.
Oh, nice.
Yes, it was very nice. So what are you going to do in your cold frame on the outside?
I'm not real sure. But they do go, they're deep.
They are deep. In fact, I probably shouldn't have said this. So if I said, Benjamin, you could stand up in there.
Oh, boy.
I know, I'm sorry. But I said, but you're not going to. You're not going to.
In there if I find him out there.
Please no. But yeah, so Benjamin has been precious and sweet and loves to take me on tours of the garden.
He's a big part of it out here.
He is such a gentleman, like a little gentleman.
He's a sweet boy. We got very lucky.
He is. He's very sweet. Oh my goodness. Your roses are like one of my favorite things right now, because of course that's what's blooming.
They are kind of blooming. Like maybe 1 week ago. It's always 1 week ago. You know? 1 week ago you should have seen this plant because it looked amazing.
Well, and then I see, okay, so we talked about the roses, but then the dahlias.
Yes.
So Laura just might turn me into a dahlia grower because they're
beautiful.
Gorgeous. And you said they're easy.
They're super easy. I think a lot of people get afraid of them just because of the fact that you have to dig them if you're in a cold climate.
Right.
That is quite a chore if you want to do that, but the payoff is so huge.
Oh my gosh.
And I mean, like
They're
I explained,
gorgeous.
we just dug holes and put in our compost starter fertilizer, and that's it. No fertilizer, no insecticide, nothing. We are lucky that we're dry, so powdery mildew is very low. We don't deal with any kind of insect pressure. I mean, even though we have earwigs, I know that's a huge problem in dahlias, but they either haven't found my patch yet or they just are leaving it alone. But so far, so good. Easy keepers. So I'm going to send you a box in the spring.
So now we have it on video. Yes, so it's very exciting. I told Jerry last night, I was like, Laura's going to send me a box of dahlias. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It is going to be really fun. So going back to Benjamin and the kids, how has becoming a mom changed your gardening style? Like, do you do things differently?
A little bit. You know, this is the first, maybe this year or last year, it was the first time I actually thought, what kind of maintenance am I going to want in this garden in 20 years? Do I want to put boxwood hedging around the cut flower garden? Do I want another boxwood hedge in this garden? You know, we have things right now that take an enormous amount of time, and they kind of don't get done like they used to get done because I've got other things going on that I would almost rather be doing, you know, I'd rather be with my kids.
Yeah.
And so now I'm thinking about each new space that we're doing and how can we make it more user-friendly? How can we make it to where the kids want to be out there? And how can we make it to where it's not going to take up a bunch of our time?
Yeah.
Because I know as the kids grow too, I mean, we'll be busy in different ways, you know, with sports and school and all of that kind of stuff. And I want to be present for all of that.
Yeah.
And gardens can, I mean, thankfully we have an amazing team of people.
You do.
We are super, super blessed with who we have helping us out here. We couldn't do it without them. But even then, even with help, it's still a lot of work.
It is.
I know sometimes it appears that we do all of it. No. not even close.
And I do think that's important, though, to give people that perspective of when you have help, to acknowledge that you have help. Because I think sometimes, especially in social media, the social media world, you can think, oh, well, she's got it all, or she can do it all. Especially maybe as women, we look at somebody that's in the spotlight and you think, well, if she can do it, like, what's wrong with me that I can't do it?
What am I lacking here?
Right. What's wrong with me? And so
nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
And that's why I try to be really transparent and to say, yeah, we just had a crew of 7 people come help us do this flower bed, or whatever the case may be, you know, my mom, your mom, whoever it is, to come in and help.
Yep.
So
that's what it takes.
Yes, absolutely.
For sure. And even then, stuff falls through the cracks. But we don't, you know, on social media, we don't tend to share those things.
No.
I mean, I don't really want to see everybody else, you know, all the things that you want to see, beautiful things and inspiring things. And so that's kind of what is presented all the time. Right. But I do think, it's good to
acknowledge
to talk about it. Yeah.
And I do think, too, that we're very similar when something doesn't work. Yeah. Or when you kill a plant.
All the time. All the time.
Yeah, people will come to the garden center and they're like buying something and they'll say, well, I really don't want to kill this. And what happens if I just am fearful of failure? And I'm like, you're going to kill a plant.
Yeah.
Like, just go ahead and accept that. You're going to fail. And a lot of times I've learned more from failures than successes.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes you're like, I don't know why it's doing great. But you kind of figure out why something didn't do well.
Oh, yeah.
And then fix it.
Neglect. Not running drip to something. Yeah, mostly.
And that's what's been so interesting too, because we also filmed a video separate from the greenhouse about planting. And so that was a lot of fun to really see your soil compared to our soil. I mean, really night and day.
I need to come dig a hole at your house.
Yes, she does. Which I was going to say, so now that we are here in Oregon, we're going to invite the whole family at some point, because you had said you have not taken a vacation in how many years?
It's been 6-7 years at this point. Yeah, we've done a little traveling for work. You know, we've had a chance to go to the Grand Garden Show, but we were there, you know, to, you know, do our thing, and we were working and filming videos and such. But yeah, family vacations have been a little bit.
So I'm thinking that we need to plan a trip for y'all in the South. Let's get Samantha Grace a little older.
Yes.
So maybe a year, 2 years from now. But we're going to do like a Southern tour.
Yes,
because there's things that you can do that you would love. Like, we know that she would love Biltmore.
Biltmore would be amazing.
Biltmore is so close to us. And then we're going to kind of move you down to the South Carolina beaches. Because Samantha Grace and Benjamin would love the ocean.
Do you have a favorite time of year in your area?
So yes, because you don't want to go when it's like crazy hot. It's just, that's just kind of
I'd melt.
miserable.
I'm not used to the
You
humidity.
would. But the good thing is when you're on the beach, it doesn't matter.
Really?
I mean, honestly, because, you know, you're in the beach and the wind and the salt and all that other stuff.
It.
You expect it and you're good. It would be more like a June time, because then too, the water has time to warm up some. So it's refreshing cool and not like bath water. And you don't want to come during hurricane season either.
Oh, no.
No, no.
No, thanks. We'll find a perfect window.
Yes, but I do think that would be a really fun trip for y'all.
It would be great.
Yeah.
I'd love to see your space and see how you guys do things and all your growing and
so I have 2
operation.
years to get everything ready for Laura to come visit.
I'll come help. You can put me to work. That would be amazing.
That would be so fun. No, it is really interesting that we were talking about the soil difference, because once you get yours aerated, and because you use the augers a lot as well, because that's such a time saver.
It really
and
is.
a back saver.
Yep.
But yours is nice and fluffy, and ours is still quite
sticky and rocks,
clods.
you said?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. And then too, we were talking about, because yours is pretty much a gray, more of a sandy kind of
look to it.
Look to
it's
it.
like powder
Right.
white gray.
Where we were talking about with the red, like our red clay, how much it stains.
Right. So you have to, I never thought about that for the knees of your pants and.
Yeah. Well, and then I was thinking about your white pumpkins. Because of our pumpkins, like if we grew white pumpkins,
They'd be stained on
they
the
would
bottom.
be stained on the bottom on the side.
Would they, if the water hit the soil and splattered on the sides? That's
It could.
Interesting. So you'd have to like put straw.
You would
or
have to
something.
put straw underneath them.
Could be done.
You can come do a pumpkin patch for me.
Perfect.
Absolutely. So this would be an interesting question, because we had talked, Laura is not moving, but we had talked just briefly, because your growing conditions here are, I mean, it's tough.
It can be, pretty extreme.
If you could choose a type of different climate to grow in, not that I'm asking you for a specific location, because we're not going to start that war, but what kind of like climate would you like be your optimal climate, do you think?
I think, well, somewhere that was more mild, more green, which I know means more rainfall, which I think, I don't know what it's like to live somewhere where it rains a lot, because we get, I think the average, I've heard 2 different averages, 7 to 10 or 9 to 11 inches is our average rainfall here. So that's not very much compared to you guys. I mean, you can get 3 in one fell swoop, right?
Yeah, we could get that in a month.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. We used to vacation in the Puget Sound in Western Washington as a kid, and I always thought it would be beautiful to live somewhere in that area.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe somewhere like that. I think Aaron would like to be on the East Coast somewhere, like New England area. He looks at property all the time.
It is beautiful.
It's gorgeous up there. But, all of our family is right here, so we're just going to probably stay in the high desert forever.
Quite a hike
yes,
across. So along with that, what is something that you can't grow that you would like to grow?
I would, I would love to be able to leave my dahlias in the ground. I would love that. I would love to be able to grow rosemary and leave it in the ground. I would love to be able to grow things like gardenias. We talked about all the different plants that each of us can grow and each of us can't grow. Several of those more. I mean, even photinias. Do you grow photinias? They're like they're a zone, I think 6 or 7. They're beautiful, broadleaf evergreen.
Okay.
And they do, like even in Boise area, which is an hour from us, they sometimes survive, but here it's a little bit spotty. But I would love to be able to grow those and have those as hedging rather than just boxwoods primarily.
Yeah.
Or arbs. We have a lot of arbs around here.
You do. You do.
Hang, I gotta fix my chair.
Okay, fix your chair.
Hang on.
We're good.
I'm not rocking in my chair anymore. We're solid.
We are solid. So tell me about how you and Aaron met. Tell us that love story.
Oh boy, it was quite the love story, wasn't it? So we met when we were both teenagers, and we ran in different crowds. Like, I mean, we knew of each other, but we didn't ever connect. And I went away to college. And Aaron was just coming back from college when I was, and he was working at our church, and I came home and took his job from him. And
was he happy about that?
I don't know. Well, I think in the end you are, because then you hung around a lot. And he taught me.
wonder
Yeah,
why.
he hung around and he taught me how to use some of the computer programs and such. And so it was about 10 months from our first date to it was 10 months exactly from first date to wedding day.
That is fantastic.
So I think we both had to kind of go away and try our things out and then come back home, and then it worked. We're pretty well balanced, and I mean everything. We've been married for 15 years now.
I was going to say, and you just celebrated your anniversary.
Yeah, how long have you and Jerry been married?
So we were married in 2000, so 21 years. Isn't
That's
that
awesome.
crazy?
That's awesome. What month of the year?
June.
June.
Yeah. And I don't know about y'all, but it just feels like, on one hand, like it was yesterday, and on the other hand, like it's been forever. That you've just been married forever.
It feels like each section or each time frame or each phase has been a different life. It's weird.
It does.
Like
it does.
when we were in our first apartment, that was a different life from when we were in our townhouse to now. It's just like it's crazy.
And we talked about, like, as a mom, as a parent, you hear people will say that those days are long.
Yes.
But the years are short.
That's very true.
And so we were talking about that, Samantha Grace is going to be, a teenager like tomorrow.
Tomorrow. We'll close our eyes tonight and wake up to a teenager in the morning.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yes. And so it is interesting because ours are, we're kind of on that end. We're in the teenage years, and it was just like yesterday that ours were like Benjamin's size or Samantha's size, and just little toddlers in the greenhouse. And it's amazing just how fast it goes.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited because I look at your pictures, and I saw the throwback picture that you just posted because you took the greenhouse down, and your daughter was standing in there when she was 7? No, 10? 9, 10?
9, 10.
Yeah.
And now she's almost 17.
Yeah. That's just,
it's crazy.
I think our kids are going to have a very similar upbringing around plants and in the industry.
Yeah.
But I do have a question for you, because you guys grow a lot.
We do.
You have retail. You make videos. You
do.
have your own garden. How do you keep motivated and inspired? Because it's so much work.
It is.
It is a lot of work. So what drives you just to keep on? Other than I know you love plants and you love gardens, but is there something that just kind of helps you push through the hard days?
Well, sure, because it's something that our family is doing together, and so because Jerry and I work really well together, so we truly enjoy spending time together and building something together, whether it's the business or the gardens or the ideas. He tends to be, I'm a dreamer, but I'm on a small scale dream. Like a short term, where he's the big picture guy.
Sounds familiar.
So so he has the big, the grand picture, and then I get the little details.
Yes.
Which I like. I enjoy the little details. So there's always something new on the horizon to do, something new, something different, and it's a lot of fun.
Exciting,
yeah. But then you've done something, say like build a greenhouse, and you've done it 4 times, and then you're like,
and then you get to do it a 5th time here at our house,
which is totally fine. And again, so we'll stay on this, but so there's always something new, but you do it and you enjoy it, and of course we still want to grow as the business, which we know we're going to have more greenhouses, but maybe you just do it differently, where you have somebody come in and do it. But there's always the dreaming part of growing something,
right?
Whether it's a business, the garden, your family. I always say my favorite time of gardening sometimes is like January, February, because that's where you dream.
It is a fun time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thinking about stuff. I was inspired by you yesterday. We were talking about that new garden you're going to be planting and how you are trying to restrain yourself and you're sticking to a softer color palette. That's my soft color palette's my palette, and thinking about using bolder, warmer or brighter colors is oftentimes it's like a little bit hard for me to come out of my comfort zone. But I was just hearing you talk about your plans for all these beautiful roses that you're going to be putting in, and
and that's how you've inspired me, because I'm like, okay, Laura sticks to, and it looks so tidy where you stick to that same palette. And it just works seamlessly together, where I tend to be a little more like, woo, and just plant things. But there are red dahlias out there. I saw.
There are.
Like,
and I enjoy
red.
the heck out of them out there. I love them. Yeah, out there, it's just like this land of freedom for
Right.
me. And I don't know why I don't feel that as much in here. Like when you get a formal setting, I feel like I need to stay a little bit more rigid in
does.
design.
Yeah.
But it's fun to see a little bit of wild. You know, every time we go to an estate garden or we tour somebody's garden, even if it's a more rigid, formal design,
Yeah.
I usually see a touch of whimsy, like
Yes.
added in. Whether or not it's a bright something here or a funny, like we have a face on one of our trees.
On the trees.
I didn't
Which
put it there,
I love.
but I
It's
love
great.
it because it's just this weird kind of out of place almost element. And I love seeing those in people's gardens.
Yeah.
I love
to
it.
me, it's a lot of character and personality.
Yeah.
My mama is naturally that way. Like she will do some fun, not funky. Well, there's a couple little pieces that maybe I wouldn't do, but her garden has personality.
Yeah.
To me, and
Yes.
it's a lot of fun. Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, life is never boring, right?
No, never.
Never.
Never. We were just talking earlier about maybe we should have a year where we don't tear things up. Maybe we should have a year where we button up projects.
I think that's.
I don't think we'll get it past the two of these guys.
I don't know.
We'll
I don't know.
see.
Jerry, and we were talking about this, and Jerry's like, you brought up my age, because
Oh,
we're older.
Not
I mean,
much.
but a little bit. And so, you know, there are points where it's like embrace the season of rest and enjoy it. Still have plans.
yes.
But I know for me, like winter is a great time. Some people try to have beautiful things year round. Like they want flowers that
Yes.
they kind of have, you know, unrealistic expectations.
Yes.
But for me, I enjoy a winter season.
Oh, me
Like
too.
I like fall. There is a reason that we have 4 seasons.
Yes.
And you can just rest.
I enjoy fall because I know a hard frost is right around the corner. And it's going to take out most of the things that are causing me maintenance. And I get
Right.
that rest period for sure.
Which is
And yeah.
also interesting because I told Jerry, you good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm shifting myself
You're shifting
around here.
yourself.
Yeah.
So I was telling Jerry, it's like, yeah, you know, for us, because we have such a long growing season, it can be from really the 1st of April till November.
Yes.
For us. Like, and I just get tired of watering things.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But you have to water even in the winter sometimes,
We
right?
do. Yeah. We have to do every 2 weeks. I mean, it has to be a reminder in, not everything in the landscape.
Sure, no.
But raised beds, like last year I fell down on my job. I planted almost 1,000 tulips in those
You
raised
were
beds.
slightly busy.
We were
being
busy,
pregnant.
but still, oh my goodness! I mean, I feel like I wasted almost 1,000 bulbs in the garden because our raised beds, you know, the moisture is just going out so much faster than things that are planted in the ground and containers and things like that. We have to water every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on moisture levels. We do typically have our last few winters have been pretty dry and cold and windy.
So, how was your snow levels? Like, do you get a lot of snow anymore?
Well, we did that one year. We got 52 inches, which is
That's crazy.
I think that was like the most in 100 years or something like that.
That
I
is
can't remember.
insane.
But average snowfall, help me out here. Last year we had a couple of good storms. Several inches.
Yeah, we'll get. It could be all across the board. We can get a couple inches, or we could get a couple feet.
Yeah, Aaron said a couple inches to a couple feet. We never really
That's
know.
crazy.
Yeah. But we typically do have snow.
Yeah.
So
So, you know, us Southerners, if a flake falls, it's like everything shuts
that's
down.
us in rain. We're going to have flooding in an hour.
I know, it's great. Yeah, so and I understand that, you know, people across, and which is another thing we can talk about, but just people in different areas of the world, the different parts of the country, you know, they can laugh at the Southerners when we get snow, but it is so rare.
Yes.
And we do celebrate it
I would.
wholeheartedly.
Yes.
Yes. So if we can get even a good couple of inches,
Oh.
it's glorious.
I'd be shutting everything down.
It does.
Coffee, watching the snow.
Yeah. And two, you have to think about, we don't have the infrastructure. Like, we don't have
That's
snow
true.
plows. No. The best they can do is salt the roads.
Really?
Yeah. No snow piles.
Have you ever used your equipment to plow any snow ever? Ever had the call for it?
We've never needed to.
So not enough to
So
break
maybe
up the
this
equipment.
this winter.
Maybe.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Because I would love it. Mm-hmm. Like, we would love to have that much snow, but no. So talking about our different growing zones and different conditions, we have very different areas that we garden in.
Very.
similar in a lot of aspects,
Yeah.
because we can grow a lot of the same
Yep.
plants, but
Yep.
there's things that are very different. And I think sometimes there is this perception that there can be only one gardener that you follow.
Sure.
And that person is the expert,
Right.
the representative for the whole entire country.
Right.
Which I just find kind of...
Yeah, I see a lot of comments from people occasionally, especially when we do a list of plants, and
Right.
then they'll say, well, there's nothing for a zone 9 in there.
Right.
And I tell them, well, I don't garden a zone 9, so I don't really know.
Right.
So I love that I can refer people to your channel.
Right.
Those people who live in a more mild climate, who can grow those things, who are more,
Right.
in your zone. And, if there's people that have questions about deer, I, send them to Aaron the Impatient Gardener, because I feel like your information, Aaron's information, and there's several others.
Sure.
Kevin at Epic Gardening, he does urban gardening that's more food related.
Right.
Organic food production on a much more small scale.
Sure.
So very easy to apply to a lot of people's spaces. I love to have like solid information, people I can refer people to, because
Yeah.
everybody has their niche.
Yes.
And everybody only really knows how to, their experience is limited
Right.
to where they live and what their
Right.
zone is, what plants they can grow. I'm limited. I can't grow everything. I have no
Right.
idea how to grow a gardenia because I can't grow them, here. So anyway, yeah. And it's really nice because when we started in this space a while ago, it's been 7 years, there wasn't a lot of activity going on. And there have been a lot more channels that have popped up through the last, especially like kind of in the last couple of years, maybe
Yes.
with the pandemic and everything,
Sure.
a lot of people are doing gardening and
Right.
yeah, it's just, there's a growing need, I think, for information. And it's just nice to have
It is.
other people who know what they're doing and who are sharing their experience in the same format,
Right.
reaching people that way.
And then I tell people, my little saying is, be a student of your own garden, right? 'Cause you can even live within the same state, but
Yes.
Eastern Oregon
Oh.
versus Western Oregon.
It's a different state.
It's
almost.
yes, and that can be the same thing for North Carolina. You have the mountains, the Piedmont, and then the coast. Completely different. So you have to take and kind of synthesize that information that you give, that I give,
Right.
and then figure out what works in your garden.
Yeah, it doesn't apply 100%.
It's
in
not
every
an
area.
absolute law.
No.
And so that's just where you can follow different gardeners and then take that inspiration. Even if you're planting something that I can't grow, I will look at that and take inspiration from maybe the colors or the structure
yeah.
or how you have formed the garden, and then pick plants that work for me and kind
I
of
think
follow
that's
that.
what it's all about, because all of our ideas that we're doing and implementing are usually a kind of is a conglomeration, the right word?
Yeah.
It's a mixture, I guess, maybe,
Yeah.
of ideas or little snippets that we've drawn from something inspiring we've seen somebody else do somewhere in a picture, in a magazine, on a,
Absolutely.
in a YouTube video or whatever.
Right.
It just kind of, we form those
just make
ideas.
it work.
So yeah,
Yeah.
to make it your own.
Absolutely. Yes. All right. Well, I think, any more questions? You have any questions?
Well, I always have lots of questions, but it would be a really, really long video, and I don't want to interview take over.
No, because every time that you do like your highlights channel and your recap, they're like, "Oh, it's an hour. This is exciting," which is great that you can do like an hour and like be focused for an hour on camera,
Well,
because that is not easy.
It is more than an hour in real life. I asked Jenny when she came, I'm like, you don't want to do any live videos, right? Please tell me no.
No, we don't do live.
Yeah. We like to
be-
edit.
Yes, because you can, take some things out that don't belong there.
Fix your chair quick and do things like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. Thank you again so much for having us.
Oh,
You have been, I really think Laura might be a Southerner at heart, because you have that sweet hospitality.
I don't
You
think I was gifted in
do.
that. No. I feel like there's
No, you were.
it's one of those things that I want to be better at.
Well, you have been amazing, so thank you so much.
Well, thank you for coming all the way across the country.
Anytime. And so next time, well, maybe not next time, but in a couple of years,
Yes.
when your family
We'll
is ready.
plan on it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, as always, friends, thank you so much for gardening with Creekside and with Garden Answer. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.
Friends.